for Natalie?
Well, you know, one of the things that, again, the biggest key to all this, when you just talked about having all these people, the beautiful is the thing is to win in this game or in any business, so listeners out there, it's all about relationships, right? And it's about converting people that you meet and figuring out how to build a relationship. There's a great book called it's called The Seven Levels of Communication. And
Seven levels?
Seven, again, go back. And they talk about, which is I think is very applicable to artists and anybody out in the audience there that's got a business and stuff, because ideally if you create that relationship, that's how you kind of move things forward, especially in the music business now. The music is pretty much free, and so you've got to sell kind of the experience and who you are. But he talks about the lowest level, the bottom level of it is in this game is usually through advertising. Advertising is the bottom of the level. Then the next level they call is direct mail. And the reason it's a little better is because you can actually target what you're doing. Right?
Advertising is just massive.
Massive, right. And then you got direct mail. Then you go to electronic communications, which is the next one, which is email, text, social media,
I'm
all
waiting
of
for
that
a question through this. This is interesting.
Yes.
So is there a question that's going to go into this?
Yes, I want to get into this. So then it goes up to, and those three areas are what they call really the informational zone.
Got it.
Right. That's kind of the place we're in. The conversion happens in the next spaces. And this is one that I wanted to bring up today because I think this is very viable for artists and really for anybody out there with their business. He says one of the major conversion tools is a handwritten note.
Oh, well, home run. I showed you.
Home run.
Scott, Ralph Simon every week sends me a handwritten letter from wherever he's at.
Incredible. And I started thinking about artists. Wouldn't it be great to just...
Well, when was the last time you did that, Natalie? When was the last time you actually hand wrote a letter to somebody?
I don't even think I own a pen anymore.
Do you know how to write?
So what I would suggest in this thing is, like, especially if you got people coming on or somebody bought your record, you could write a handwritten note, take a picture of it, and then push it out over the social media.
Ooh,
nice.
I like
so
that.
It's a digital, but it's a handwriting.
Instagram of a signature of a CD.
Okay. Thanking them personally for doing that, because once you build that bit of content,
idea.
I think that's smoking. I started thinking about that. So that's really the key. Then as we go up from handwritten notes, the next thing is a phone call. That's a great conversion thing.
Now, so who's Natalie going to be calling?
Well, it depends. If she builds a relationship, could be fans, could be influencers. It could
have
be.
You called a fan?
I have not.
Because once
are you afraid of them?
Because listen,
no,
if somebody talks to you, that's a very big conversion.
Sure.
Because the goal is let's face it, this game is, you're in the referral business. We're in the referral business. You want somebody to talk about you, to spread the word about your record or who you are. So it's building that referral network, and that happens through relationships.
Okay, hold on to the other two. I am Scott Page. That's where you can find Scott. Where do we find you, Natalie? What's the website?
I don't have a website. I just have a... I know.
Oxford left the building. What?
I usually use my Facebook fan page.
Joining me in the studio is Mr. Scott Page. You going to get an Apple Watch? No, you're not an Apple guy.
No, I want that $10,000 one.
No,
that's a good investment.
No, yeah. All it says is you got $10,000 to blow. You got updated in 2 years. Yeah, I'm still going to have to get it. It's like not the $10,000 to just to say, hey, look, I get it, right? But I think that's the same way with an artist.
Yep.
When I love an artist, even if someone says, it's not really a good, CD, I still get the music because I want to understand where that artist is.
Yeah.
And Apple and an artist are very similar. You have a fan.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, they built an incredible fan base.
Right, Apple has.
Oh, unbelievable.
And think about it, to this day, people still see Apple as the underdog, and they are way beyond the underdog level.
Yeah, big time.
But I want to go back to what Apple has built with their fan base. What are some of the steps that company has done that artists need to pay attention to?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is they found a target audience.
Yeah.
They knew exactly who they were going after, which is a really critical piece for artists today. We have the data and the technology now to be able to find who your artist is. Once you know who you are, exactly where you want to go, you can put your music, you can put your stuff in front of those people and be able to convert them.
Now, Scott, you're looking at Natalie Major, who does not have a website, which we need. Do you have nataliemajor.com?
I have nataliemajormusic.com.
Okay,
Somebody else bought NatalieMajor.com.
No, but it's okay. You have that. Is there a .music happening? I'm not sure if there's an LCD.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that.
But
maybe. Should be.
Scott and I are going to tell you something, just being old and smart.
Okay.
He's much older than me.
Much. You got to have a website. And the reason why is if you heard what Scott said, he said something very interesting and doesn't resonate with many people. what happens if Facebook shuts you down?
Right.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, what happens if they close the 405 or the Dan Ryan? I mean, they'll never will. They do.
And more important, you want to make sure that you're collecting and building that relationship. Get those emails.
Right.
You don't get the emails. They're not giving them to you from
So why
Facebook.
is having a website, and anyone listening, by the way, why is a website so important? It sounds so obvious, but maybe people don't see it that way.
Well, it's interesting. I just read a study the other day that they said, like, what is it, 50% of businesses don't have websites
don't
yet.
have websites
Yet.
So why is it important to have a website?
Well, that's like that's your real estate. That's kind of where who you are in the digital world is that space. And what you want to do is control the content, you want to control the messaging, and you want to be able to get that relationship building with your audience. So part of, if you follow what I try to do is I look to other businesses that I can take their concepts and then bring them over to the artist world, because right now artists are missing the boat. For the most part, are missing the boat. When you see the communication